In a nation celebrated for its linguistic diversity, why does the push for Hindi dominance continue to ignite fierce resistance, threaten regional identities, and erode the very fabric of India's cultural mosaic? From Tamil Nadu's historic anti-Hindi agitations to the silent extinction of languages like Bhojpuri and Maythili in the so-called Hindi heartland, the battle over language is not just about words, it's about power, identity, and survival. As Hindi nationalism rises, can India's multilingual soul withstand the tide of linguistic hegemony? India's linguistic diversity is one of its greatest strengths, but it is also a battleground where the forces of Hindi hegemony and regional identity clash. At the forefront of this struggle is Tamil Nadu, a state that has fiercely resisted Hindi imposition for decades. For Tamils, language is not just a means of communication, it is the soul of their culture, history, and identity. The recent push for Hindi dominance, masked under policies like the three-language formula and delimitation of parliamentary seats, has reignited Tamil Nadu's resolve to protect its linguistic heritage. This video delves into Tamil Nadu's perspective on Hindi imposition, its historical resistance, the broader implications for India's federal structure, and the tragic erosion of regional languages under the weight of Hindi hegemony. Tamil Nadu's opposition to Hindi imposition is not a recent phenomenon, it is deeply rooted in the state's history and identity. The anti-Hindi agitations of the 1960s, led by the Dravidian movement, were a watershed moment in India's linguistic politics. Figures like Periyar and Annadurai galvanized the masses against the Union government's attempt to impose Hindi as the sole official language, arguing that it was a form of cultural imperialism that marginalized non-Hindi speakers. The Dravidian movement framed the fight against Hindi as a fight for self-respect and equality. Tamil, one of the world's oldest classical languages, was seen as a symbol of Tamil pride and autonomy. The movement's success forced the Union government to retain English as an associate official language, but the threat of Hindi imposition never fully disappeared. Today, Tamil Nadu remains vigilant, viewing any attempt to promote Hindi as an attack on its linguistic and cultural identity. The imposition of Hindi is not just a Tamil Nadu issue, it is a pan-Indian problem that threatens the linguistic diversity of the entire country. However, Tamil Nadu has been the most vocal in opposing it. Chief Minister Stalin has repeatedly criticized the Union government's attempts to impose Hindi, calling it a form of cultural colonialism. He argues that the push for Hindi undermines the principles of federalism and linguistic equality enshrined in the Indian constitution. Stalin's critique extends beyond Tamil Nadu. He has highlighted how Hindi hegemony is eroding other regional languages, even within the so-called Hindi heartland. Languages like Bhojpuri, Maythili, and Avdhi, spoken by millions, are being subsumed under the broad category of Hindi, leading to their gradual extinction. The push for a monolithic Hindi identity has killed ancient mother tongues, Stalin remarked, pointing out that languages like Bhojpuri and Magadhi are now gasping for survival. For Tamil Nadu, the fight against Hindi is not just about protecting Tamil, it is about safeguarding India's linguistic diversity. The state views itself as a bulwark against the homogenization of India's cultural landscape. The dominance of Hindi has come at a heavy cost, the slow death of numerous regional languages across India. These languages, rich in history and culture, are being pushed to the brink of extinction as Hindi expands its reach. Here are some of the languages that have suffered under Hindi hegemony. 1. Bhojpuri, spoken by over 50 million people in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Jharkhand. Bhojpuri is often dismissed as a dialect of Hindi. Despite its vibrant literary and cinematic traditions, Bhojpuri is increasingly being replaced by Hindi in education and administration. The language, which once thrived in the works of poets like Bhikhari Thakur, is now struggling to survive. 2. Maythili, a language with a rich literary heritage. Maythili is spoken by millions in Bihar and Nepal. It was recognized as a scheduled language in the Indian Constitution in 2003, but its speakers continue to face pressure to adopt Hindi. The decline of Maythili is a loss not just for its speakers but for India's cultural heritage. 3. Avdhi. Once the language of Sufi saints and poets like Tulsidas, Avdhi is now relegated to the status of a dialect in Uttar Pradesh. Its use in literature and daily life has dwindled as Hindi takes its place. 4. Magadhi. Spoken in parts of Bihar and Jharkhand, Magadhi is another casualty of Hindi hegemony. Despite its historical significance, the language is rarely taught in schools or used in official settings. 5. Bundeli and Braj Bhasha. These languages, spoken in parts of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, were once the mediums of devotional poetry and folk traditions. Today, they are overshadowed by Hindi, with younger generations increasingly abandoning them. 6. Chhattisgarhi. The official language of Chhattisgarh, Chhattisgarhi is often treated as a variant of Hindi. Its unique identity is being eroded as Hindi becomes the dominant language in education and media. 7. Santhali and Angika. Tribal languages like Santhali and Angika, spoken in Jharkhand and Bihar, are also under threat. Despite their cultural significance, they are being marginalized in favor of Hindi. The erosion of these languages is not just a linguistic tragedy, it is a cultural genocide. Each language carries with it centuries of history, literature, and tradition. When a language dies, a part of India's soul dies with it. The National Education Policy, NEP, 2020, with its emphasis on the three-language formula, TLF, has become a flashpoint in Tamil Nadu's battle against Hindi imposition. While the NEP claims that Hindi is not mandatory, Tamil Nadu sees the TLF as a Trojan horse designed to sneak Hindi into the state's education system. The state has historically followed a two-language policy, Tamil and English, which it views as sufficient to preserve its linguistic identity while ensuring access to global opportunities. The union government's decision to withhold grants under the Samagra Shiksha scheme from Tamil Nadu for non-compliance with the NEP has only deepened the mistrust. Chief Minister Stalin has accused the centre of using financial coercion to enforce Hindi, calling it an assault on Tamil Nadu's autonomy. Rather than installing Sengal in parliament, Stalin quipped, "Uninstall Hindi from union government offices in Tamil Nadu." Tamil Nadu's resistance to the TLF is not just about language, it is about protecting the state's right to determine its own educational and cultural policies. The state has made it clear that it will not compromise on its two-language policy, which it sees as a cornerstone of its identity. Another issue that has galvanized Tamil Nadu's opposition to the union government is the proposed delimitation of Lok Sabha constituencies. The state fears that delimitation based on population will reduce its representation in parliament, disproportionately benefiting Hindi-speaking states that have failed to control population growth. Chief Minister Stalin has called this move entirely unjustifiable, arguing that Tamil Nadu and other southern states are being penalized for successfully implementing population control measures. Stalin convened an all-party meeting in Tamil Nadu, which passed a resolution urging the union government to base delimitation on the 1971 population census. The resolution reflects the state's broader concern that delimitation is another tool to centralize power and marginalize non-Hindi-speaking states. For Tamil Nadu, this is not just a political issue, it is a fight for fairness and federalism. Tamil Nadu's resistance to Hindi imposition is rooted in a vision of India that celebrates linguistic diversity and upholds the principles of federalism. The state has consistently argued that Hindi should not be privileged over other languages and that all Indian languages should be treated equally. Chief Minister Stalin has called for Tamil to be given the same status as Hindi as an official language of the Union and has demanded greater allocation of funds for the promotion of Tamil. Tamil Nadu's fight is not against Hindi as a language but against the imposition of Hindi as a national language. The state believes that India's strength lies in its diversity and that any attempt to impose a monolithic identity will only weaken the nation. As Stalin aptly put it, demanding linguistic equality is not chauvinism, it is patriotism. Tamil Nadu's resistance to Hindi imposition is a testament to the enduring power of language as a marker of identity and a tool for political mobilization. The state's fight is not just about protecting Tamil, it is about defending the idea of India as a pluralistic, federal nation where every language and culture has the right to thrive. As Hindi nationalism gains momentum, Tamil Nadu's voice serves as a reminder that India's unity cannot be built on the suppression of its diversity. The state's struggle is a call to action for all Indians to embrace their linguistic heritage and resist the forces of homogenization. In the words of Stalin, Tamil Nadu will always be the shield that safeguards India's diversity. The question is, will the rest of India stand with Tamil Nadu in this fight?